The dream of moving to Baja to run a casual side hustle has been replaced by the tactical presence of Mexican federal patrol boats. This shift is most visible in the coastal corridor stretching from Bahía de la Ventana down to Ensenada de Muertos. In 2026, the informal economy has been phased out. The region now operates under a model of active enforcement, where local oversight is no longer a suggestion. Foreign guides and digital nomads operating without permits are facing a coordinated crackdown involving multiple government agencies. Operating here requires meeting a specific set of legal, environmental, and cultural standards that authorities now treat as mandatory. Service providers are now looking at two paths: funding the high upfront costs of full legal compliance or risking total exclusion from the region and the seizure of physical assets. Avoiding local authorities is no longer a matter of staying off the main roads. The government now monitors the region through an integrated digital net. This system connects 4 federal guardians: INM, SAT, STPS, and some are not. The Port Authority cross-references daily maritime safety logs directly with INM databases. If a captain lacks a work permit, it triggers an immediate digital flag. The local community supplements this through the SIQAL portal. This platform allows residents to anonymously report unauthorized operators and tax violations directly to federal inspectors. Identified offenders are logged into a permanent registry. This database includes high-resolution photos and verified addresses, which are shared with international consulates to track illegal activity. An unpermitted tour is now classified as a regional risk, leading to multi-year travel bans and formal deportation. For a foreign service provider, establishing a legal presence requires navigating significant administrative friction. The Ministry of Labor enforces a strict 90-10 national labor ratio. For every foreign worker, a business must employ 9 Mexican citizens, enroll them in IMSS Social Security, and use electronic logs to ensure compliance with the 40-hour workweek. Individual immigration requirements are equally rigorous. Workers must secure formal residency and an explicit permiso para trabajar. The business itself must obtain an employer registration certificate from the INM. The financial threshold is high. In 2026, government residency fees doubled, and approval is tied to high solvency rates calculated in UMAs, a standardized Mexican economic index. On the tax side, operators must register with the SAT using a physical USB drive for their digital signature. Specialized services, like property management, must also be enrolled in the federal REPSE database. Moving into the Mexican tax bracket ends the high margins of under-the-table profits. However, it is the only legal protection against property liens and asset seizure if a workplace accident occurs. The second scenario applies to penga captains operating within the Soralvo Channel. All marine tours are now governed by the 2026 Orca Management Plan. For the current season, the Environment Ministry has limited regional sighting permits to just 50. To maintain these permits, vessels must be outfitted with active GPS tracking. This allows federal authorities to monitor a captain's proximity to wildlife in real time. Every permitted operator must follow the Orca standard, prioritizing the channel's acoustic integrity, which is essential for the survival of the resident pod's 2026 calves. The Orca standard enforces a strict 16-boat maximum density within any observation polygon. Captains must shift engines to neutral if cetaceans approach within 50 meters, and follow the 15-minute curiosity roll, allowing animals to initiate the interaction. These protocols are designed to prevent the disruption of mobula slam hunts and to lower the cortisol levels of the resident pod. Captains surrender navigational privacy and aggressive wildlife pursuit in exchange for the long-term biological survival of the bay. Finally, the tourists themselves have shifted from passive consumers to active participants in this ecosystem. Every visitor is now required to pay a mandatory 488 peso Embrace It tourist tax. Before boarding, tourists are expected to verify that their operator provides official CONAMP access bracelets for protected natural areas. They must also contribute to daily citizen science logs, recording their sightings to assist with local environmental tracking. These requirements make a Baja vacation more structured and expensive. However, they ensure that tourism dollars fund local ejido infrastructure rather than a shadow economy vulnerable to federal raids. Underlying every federal law is the sovereign power of the local ejidos, granted by Article 27 of the Mexican Constitution. To operate in this region, a business must secure a social license to operate. This is a legally binding mandate to provide a net positive economic benefit to local fishing families. Respect for the sovereignty is monitored through what the ejidos call geographical integrity. Using defunct, foreign developer names like Bahia de los Sueños in signage or branding is flagged as an immediate sign of disrespect. Authorities require the use of the historically accurate name, Ensenada de Muertos. Compliance is about more than paperwork. Using correct nomenclature demonstrates that an operator is a steward of local history, not just an extractor. This quadrant chart plots the increased effort and cost of 2026 operations against legal legitimacy and business security. The current regulatory environment supports entrepreneurs and captains willing to invest in the local workforce, pay Social Security, and respect acoustic boundaries. These operators occupy the top right with bulletproof businesses. Conversely, seasonal residents and digital nomads attempting to run unpermitted cash tours now face immediate administrative detention and permanent expulsion. Unpermitted, high-impact operations can no longer hide in the informal economy. While the Agua Amarga model requires significant capital and oversight, it provides the only legal path to operating within this biological sanctuary.